What's up, jabronis? Week 16 of the Old Guys Pod. And who do we have here? We have one Uncle T back in the house wearing a winter hat. Is that because your heat is not working, or is your heat working now? Yeah, his internet's screwed up.
We are good to go. We are good to go. I got heat. I made sure I paid the bill. JT made fun of me last week. All's good.
JT, you've got a shit-eating smirk on your face. What's going on, man? Look at you busting out that beautiful bald head. What's on your mind, pal?
I was just debating some NBA late swaps, and
I'll do that.
I've decided against it. I've decided I'm going to stick with what I have and let it ride. So there's that. There's that. It's cold here in Atlanta. It's like in the 30s, which is disgusting for people that aren't used to that. And but then I get on a plane. I go to Houston tomorrow for a couple of days, back here for a few days, and then we're going to Cancun for Christmas week. So yeah, flying on Christmas Day, which I love to do.
Because no one's flying.
No one's flying. No one's flying. People are slaves to the calendar, and they think that they have to be at home. And look, if you have young children, yes, you have to be at home. But we don't have young children. So boom, we're on the road, and it's going to be fun.
I don't have my kids on Christmas, and I'm trying to figure out what to do. And then I reminded myself, don't we have football on Christmas this year?
3-game slate. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, baby. I love it. Absolutely.
Walk on the plane. I got something to do on the plane. Got something to do when I get there. It's fantastic.
This is the time of year that we get football on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
4 out of 5 days. It doesn't get too much better. Now, we do have the Saints and the Rams, but really, when you think about it, both starting quarterbacks are healthy and both teams are exactly 500. So the way the season's gone, this isn't the worst thing, Uncle T. No. Uncle T, are you excited about Christmas?
Absolutely, I'm excited. Absolutely. I love Christmas. So
what do you do during Christmas? Do you roast chestnuts on an open fire?
No, that's not really one of the traditions that we do, but yeah, two big families. Two big families. So yeah, it's a lot of wagon. But
did you switch back to dial-up?
Man, just a tough scene. Where's Quinn at, by the way? You said everybody. Where's Quinn at? Quinn was
so I had Pooh on the chair. She came home. I picked her up from daycare at like 6 o'clock, and I fed her. I'm coming in here and I'm trying to get my NBA teams set, and I had Quinn in the chair as a prop, and she comes in here and she starts barking at Quinn and staring at me, at Pooh and staring at me, and I'm like, all right, is this what you want? And as soon as I put her down, she just an extended session, Uncle T. Oof. An extended session. It was something that you shouldn't show to children. And I apologize because I hate it when my internet goes in and out and guys are making fun of me. So I'm not going to do that anymore.
All right, I appreciate that. But so before you rudely interrupted and Holden asked me, I'm going to have to reboot. This is crazy.
Before Holden asked the question, hold on, don't do it yet.
Rudely interrupted me.
Yeah.
What was your
reboot.
question, Holden?
My question is, can you reboot right now?
Your chestnuts on the fire.
Yeah.
No.
Do you roast chestnuts on a fire?
Not big nuts, but I do not roast them on the fire. No.
What do you have chestnuts?
I got big nuts. What do you mean? Big balls.
Long balls? Does not. Change the jaws. Well, this, of all the shows we've ever done, this might be the shittiest start to one. Yeah, easily the worst 5 minutes. And it's my fault because I was like, guys, let's just hit play and go on the air, thinking that as a true radio professional that you are, Uncle T, you could just go with it. But it hasn't turned out that way, my friend.
I can try to relog back on if you guys want to take it for 5 minutes. It's up to you.
No, I don't think we'll be able to do it without you. So why don't you just hang on? If it gets too bad, we'll let you know.
All right. Sorry, Richie Smalls. I know they got to pay me better. They don't pay me enough to get a good internet service. So
what else do you do for Christmas though, Uncle T? Like, tell me what the Niehaus family does.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get together quite a bit. We play some. We got a couple poker games scheduled for a couple days after the holidays. I'm going down to one of the UK games, so a little bit of that, a lot of family time. 2 weeks off for radio, so that should be fun. So, and then enjoying the last couple weeks NFL. It's crazy how quick this goes, though. Just a couple weeks left. You mentioned, football pretty much next, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever it is. I kind of like it like this. I like having the split slates, if you will. There's only 9 games on the main slate on Sunday. The only bad part about the main slate on Sunday, we won't get a lot of the top quarterbacks, and we'll get into that here once we get going. But no Buffalo, so no Allen. You got no Mahomes, Lamar, Hurts, Purdy. You don't have any of those guys on the main slate on Sunday. So it'll be interesting to break down the slate without those guys in it.
JT, what do you remember about Christmas when you used to celebrate it?
We still celebrate it. It's just different now because, I'm not looking for gifts. We don't get now the focus is solely on like my nephews, my godchildren, right? My nieces. I don't have any nieces really. But it's on them. It's just on the kids. It's not adults getting things for adults. So it's a little bit different. My daughter's older, obviously. But it's still fun. It's still a nice couple of weeks. I was talking to a friend of mine today, a colleague, and I said, this is the busiest December I've had in a long, long time in terms of what I do here at Run Pure Sports has been very busy. But also what I do during the day has been very busy. Like I said, I'm flying to Houston tomorrow. And I think that's good. I think that's great. Like years ago when I was a kid, my father, he was off for the 2 weeks around Christmas. I think that may be a thing that's a thing of the past for a lot of people because of the way the world has evolved. So Christmas is definitely different. But once I get back, once I land on Friday back home, I'm off for 7-8 days. Won't be really doing too much unless it's an emergency, or if it's here, the Friday and the Sunday off the chalk show and the article that I'm going to get up this week. So, but it's a great time of year, Holden. I mean, it's now. Where are you? You obviously aren't home.
I'm in Denver.
No.
Yeah, because here's what I had to do.
No, I don't believe you.
I had to make my daughter a room.
Yeah. Okay.
So my office.
So that's the studio. The studio is her room this week?
No. Oh. My office will be her room.
Okay.
And my office is going down to the basement. This is honestly the nicest office I've ever had. There's beautiful windows on each side. We can see the mountains. I'm going to be going downstairs where there's nothing. There's no windows. There's like a dead cricket down there. It's going to be awful. So I'm not looking forward to that. Not at all.
What is with the new background, though? You've got a new background there. It looks lovely.
Well, I mean, there's only a couple of different things that I could do. I could either have a new background like I have, or I could just have a white wall behind me. So, so this is my background.
Okay.
Now, listen, if you'd like for me to, I could do this.
I mean, I'm just curious. I thought you were somewhere else. I thought you were poor Aaron Rodgers. We'll talk about the Jets here in a second, but Uncle T said I'm out. I'm out.
I'm back. I saw the picture behind Holden's head, and I couldn't stop laughing.
Those the Christmas bells. The Christmas bells.
He's on fire.
Oh god!
So as the show's gonna suck, I'm gonna have a little bit of fun doing it. So yeah. Anyways, we got your riveting stories about Christmas. That was great that we got that out of the way. That was Taco Bell. Yes. If anybody would like to give us a topic in the chat, and we'll try and talk about it. So this will be kind of like a night at the Improv. Yes. Good to see you, Richie, Matt, Terry Niehaus, Kevin. It's great to see everybody stop by here. Uncle T, the sport you're calling is girls basketball, correct?
Yeah. We'll go with the bit. We'll say yes. Yeah. I'll say yes.
Volleyball.
No, yeah, volleyball too.
Basketball.
Yeah. I'll go with the bit so you guys can have your little fun. Yeah,
Uncle T, it is literally not a bit. I can't remember what sport you call boys basketball.
You only asked me 38 times.
What
JT,
is it?
He didn't ask you a question, so zip it.
What is it, JT?
Holden, first of
women's hockey.
Uncle T,
you don't call women's hockey.
Yeah, it's a great sport, Holden. You should go to a game one time. It's a lot of fun.
Uncle T's in shambles. There's no reason for it, but Holden has asked you this 20 times because he's fried. I mean, look at this man. He's fried.
I've been sober.
I think
every show this year.
I'm on Holden's side. I think Holden's good.
It's the cumulative effect, the synergistic effect, if you will, of all the things that you've done in your life that you can't remember, that it's, and I hope I get it right, that it's girls basketball.
He can't even stop himself from laughing.
I thought it was girls basketball. He said it's not girls basketball.
It is.
Uncle T. Yeah. It's girls basketball,
right? Girls hockey, girls volleyball. That's what I call it. Yep, you got it.
I mean, now he's throwing it back in my face.
He's just being hurtful. He's just being hurtful for the sake of being hurtful. You know who's not in the Christmas spirit, chat? Uncle T is not in the Christmas spirit. There is a fucking Grinch among us. There is a Grinch among us, and it's this motherfucker for two reasons. One, he can't wear orange because the colors of Christmas are red and green, and two, just for no reason, he's being hurtful. It's very hurtful.
JT is stirring the pot like he always does.
Been working on my splitter grip, Uncle T. Look at
that guy right there.
All right, here. So we'll do a generic question. Richie Smalls came up with it. Best Christmas movie. Best Christmas movie one is Bad Santa, and there's nothing even close to it.
It's not in the top 10.
Huh? In the top 10? Well, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
I mean, I like the Chevy Chase one. I like the Christmas Vacations, one of mine.
I saw that in the theater.
In the theater?
I saw that in the theater. I really wanted to finger bang the girl I went with.
Well, since it's been out for like 35 years, how in the hell you remember that?
Because I remember going to the movie, and I told you I was with a girl that I was really excited about. Christmas Vacation, I need to watch again. So,
did you close the deal that night, or do you remember?
No, I was 14. I did not close the deal.
Yeah. I just thought
made out with her earlier in the day. And that was it.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation has to be. I've probably seen it maybe 3 or 4 times already this holiday season. Last couple weeks, it's always on. So,
JT, what's the Christmas movie?
I mean, that's the one. It's always on. Actually, I went out to have dinner. My wife had a holiday party early, and I said, I'm going to go out. I'm going to have something to eat. And some dude at the bar was casting, because there was nothing on. Like, they didn't have the Pelicans game on. Some dude was casting the National Lampoon Christmas Vacation movie to the main TV, and he didn't realize it. And it's on, and I'm like I'm like watching. And he goes, oh, shit, is my phone casting? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I had this on yesterday, whatever. And I'm like, you don't want to cast it? He goes, no. Well, you could turn it off. Well, I don't know. Do I have to turn my phone off? And I was like, I'm not in the mood to have this conversation. I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. So that's what that was.
So I am doing a Christmas movie night with Cassandra.
Ooh.
And she gave me a list. She said, here's the movies that we can watch.
Bambi.
First of all, that stupid black and white movie with Jimmy Stewart. What's that one?
Oh, A Wonderful Life.
Oh, what a dog shit cheesy movie that is. Horrible movie.
Uncle I'm sure T, it's going to be on in my house at some point. So,
Uncle T, what do you think about that movie?
Yeah, I got to make sure my wife's not listening. That's her favorite, but I do not like it.
Oh, it's horrible. I
don't like it.
Last year, she's
Elf isn't too bad. Elf decent. I'm not real big with it. But
good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So she gave me the choice.
Christmas.
We could watch that black and white movie. We could watch Die Hard, or we could watch Christmas Vacation. And I've been thinking Die Hard the whole time, but the more you guys are talking up Christmas Vacation, I haven't seen this movie in 30-something years. Maybe I need to see it again.
How have you not seen it in that long of a time period?
Why would I have seen it?
Because it's on 6 times a day.
I literally don't remember ever seeing it on TV. Ever. I've never seen it.
I'm back on JT's side. I don't know how you haven't seen it.
I've never seen it on TV. I just haven't. It's not something I've seen. I've seen Die Hard within the last maybe 10 years.
You've brought up Die Hard like 8 times. Like,
I like Die Hard.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
All kidding aside, because my wife constantly makes fun of me that all I do is watch sports.
Yeah.
I'm not into movies or television shows.
You too.
What's that?
You too, huh? That's what I get all the time too.
Well, I mean, she makes fun of me. It's not mean-spirited, but doing what we do, Uncle T, Holden, how is there time? How is there time outside of watching every fucking live sporting event that's on? How is there time to do much else, especially like Uncle T and I, who have other jobs? And I was thinking about this today. Like, how is there time? You're trying to work out. At least I'm trying to work out. You're trying to work out.
I was going to say, so I'll stop you right there. That's not in my plans.
I know. It's not something you're into. Well, you're doing rehab for your arm, right? Your labrum,
how's that going?
Joints,
you able to jerk off with your right arm yet?
You know.
But I had to go to the other side for a few months.
Slip that one. Yes, JT.
JT didn't even catch it.
I did catch it. That's why I stopped. I wanted to let the people have a second to enjoy that moment of hilarity.
All right, keep going.
But you're doing that. So you're doing that. You have your day job. You're watching everything. Like, who has the time? I mean, like, I see Big T with his tweets about fucking random television series. I'm like, what do you do? Where do you find the time? Where do you find the time to do this? I just don't have that kind of time, Uncle T. I don't have that kind of time, Holden.
It's unfortunate, but
first of all, I'm definitely on board with you. I don't. Big T finds room for everything.
I'm 2 hours behind you guys, so I'm on a different clock. Although, hold on, is Cincinnati Central?
I actually want to explore this. What does it mean when you say you're 2 hours behind us? Does that mean you have 2 hours more time?
Yeah, we have 26 hours.
I'm just curious. When you say
we have 24 hours.
You say I'm 2 hours behind you, so I can find more time to not watch a movie that
earlier. Ding dong.
You all can't avoid seeing.
The games are done earlier here. They're done 10:30, 11 o'clock.
But you start earlier, you moron.
Yeah. So what does that have to do with anything? When the games are over,
do you sleep 2 hours less a day? Do you sleep 2 hours less a day?
No, I just stay up and I wake up at the same time. I get 2 extra hours of viewing time. This is like that Shaquille O'Neal with the gas, right? Remember Shaquille O'Neal with the gasoline?
You just put $20 in. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Put $20.
Put $20 in.
You may put it in every day, but you just put 20 in. It's no big deal. You're not spending any more.
It's going to get you in the same direction too. What I'm saying is if the games end at 10:30. Maybe even 11.
Yep.
I don't have to stay up. That's not 1 o'clock by me. So I don't have to stay up till 3. All I got to do is stay up till 1 in the morning and then get my 7 hours of sleep and I'm up at 8 and I'm set.
Okay.
So I think that explains it. Now, Uncle T, are you on Central Time, right? Or East Coast?
I am on East Coast.
All right. So I get 2 extra hours.
You were here for like 4.5 hours in March. You should remember that.
I don't know. I don't remember too much.
For people in chat, there's 32 people watching. Do you believe that Holden has 2 more hours a day than we do, or do you think that he is fundamentally challenged?
It's not true.
All of the above.
If the games by you end at what time? 1 o'clock?
I mean, it depends on what night it is.
West Coast games. Do you even watch West Coast games?
I love the West Coast games.
Okay. So you don't go to bed till baseball season, probably 1:30. A lot of those games are over.
3.
Huh?
3.
3 in the morning.
I mean, sometimes.
No. 3. Now you're just confused. Now I'm confused. Screw you, JT. This is ridiculous, Uncle T. Why do we put up with this guy?
I'll be honest. The point you were trying to make was a terrible one. I mean, you're saying you're 2 hours behind us, so you got 2 extra hours more than me and JT.
Thank you, Uncle T. Thank you, Uncle T. Your internet, by the way, your internet is flawless. I can see you clearly, like the Denver mountains. And Holden, by the way, I come in, Uncle T, you got to hear this. I was very offended. I came in, I did something I normally didn't do just to support my guys. And I popped on to the Up to Lock show on Sunday, and I gave them a greeting. And it was my standard greeting. And Holden just all of a sudden out of nowhere attacked me.
What did I say?
For absolutely no reason. It was very hurtful.
Well, you called us the C word.
Well, but again, when I use the C word, when I use that word, which I can't use now because it's on like Apple and stuff, right? But when I use that word, it's a term of endearment.
What's on Apple? What the fuck are you?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't busy yourself with where you can find this. Just sit there, play with your hair in the mountains, whatever. Uncle T, he just attacked me. I mean, it was violent. It was unnecessary. It was uncalled for. It ruined my Sunday for about 6.5 seconds. But then I remembered that it was Holden, and I moved on. But it still was hurtful.
And you're still talking about it days later. What did I say?
It was ugly.
What did I say? I don't remember what I said. What did I say?
So I don't want to recall it.
All right. I don't think you remember.
I PTSD. No, I remember. I remember very well.
You do remember, or you don't remember?
I could pull up the video. It was hurtful.
You don't have to pull up the video because then it's gonna sound weird, dude.
Oh, that's fine.
It's gonna sound weird, dude.
Yeah. Uncle T, did you ever watch Up to Lock, or you're too busy?
I don't watch Up to Lock NBA during the week, but I watch the NFL stuff. Yes.
Oh yeah, you're in the chat. Forgot about that. Sometimes you're in the chat, and I honestly, to God, I don't know what the hell I said. I don't even remember what I said to JT. It was so long ago.
Do you want to apologize?
Huh?
Do you want to apologize?
No.
Why are you holding your mic?
Why would I not? It's comfortable.
He did this.
I'm
last
not a
week.
slave to the microphone. The microphone is my slave.
He had one hand on it or two?
I
knew he had two, JT. Look at him.
He's evolving into a better host.
Well, it just depends. I can do this.
Look at
how blasé I could be.
He's been challenged, and he's
in the mountains. What do you think about the mountains, by the way? Look at those. Isn't that beautiful? I've been there.
I like the white wall.
Yeah.
You like the white. Have you seen Mangone's backgrounds lately?
Oh, he keeps claiming that he's going to get some stuff back there. Mine's pretty bad too, but I don't have just the white wall.
Here, this is this. For those of you who don't know and you're watching, this is Mangone's background right now.
So do you know what's behind it? Do you see it?
Yeah, the CN Tower.
It's the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah,
you can't see it because of Holden's big freaking head and his inch long
hair. The Eiffel Tower was back there. It's a very French ambiance.
Kind of a tribute to me, no big deal, but it's kind of a tribute.
It's not a tribute to you though.
I was going to get you a coffee mug for Christmas, JT. You didn't even say anything about it that day. I sent you guys your coffee mug. I found the perfect coffee mug for you.
Which one?
You don't remember
that? I didn't realize that was my Christmas gift.
Well, you would? Okay.
Yeah. Send it to me.
I have to send you one. What was that you're drinking? Are you drinking pink lemonade? What are you drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking water out of a perfect daisy for reading cup.
Looks like pink lemonade.
It's from the library up the block.
It looks like a tasty Madras.
It's not. It's just water.
No.
Clean, purified waters. Do adult men buy each other Christmas gifts? Have you ever bought an adult man a Christmas gift?
Outside family?
Yeah, outside of family.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't do it. JT, have you ever gotten a friend a Christmas gift?
I'm sure I've done it in the past. I don't think people do that anymore a lot. So no.
Yeah, I think the last time I did that was probably back in
people I work with who help me. I send things to them around the holidays.
Yeah,
but not gifts like
traditional
gifts. Not like
you don't want to send gifts to people.
No,
I'd like to get like a telescope. JT, you know where I can get a nice telescope?
Yeah, Sharper Image has some great telescopes. They're
NASA.
NASA has telescopes.
I bet you they have a store. Does NASA have a store where they sell telescopes?
Maybe you might be able to rent one from the library.
Oh, too good.
So NASA does have an official store, official NASA gear. I'm going to look up and see if I can find you.
Is the selection as wide and thorough as it is on the Run Pure Sports merch shop?
No, it's
Probably
not.
Probably
but we
not.
still never got the strap on. Yeah. You can't get a real, hey, but what I can get you for $7 is a Hubble telescope. And it's not going to work.
$7.
But it's a cast. It's not going to work.
Sounds like it's a good one.
It's an imitation, right? An imitation Hubble telescope.
Probably.
Previously used?
That it doesn't say. It says download the instructions on this PDF, which I'm not going to do.
No.
But let's see here. Yeah. It's the real Hubble telescope, $7 on the official NASA store if you're interested, Uncle T. Do you really need to get a telescope? Because I have a really nice telescope.
No, I kind of tried to make a joke and it didn't work out very well.
They're tough to use.
That's funny.
You have to.
Holden doesn't even have any clue why I even said that, JT.
I don't even know what you said.
I know. I was talking about a telescope. You know what I said.
Oh, not a real telescope?
JT's got a real one. It's been on many shows before.
It's not mine. It's a family member's.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Did you really have a telescope back there? Or am I just this going over?
Yeah, no, not here. Not here.
Fucking with me.
In one of my other locations, Holden.
Uncle T.
I've never been there with you on a show.
$33 professional telescope.
Okay.
I mean,
I like
that
Yeah.
is better than the Hubble telescope.
I'm shocked you don't have one, Holden, to be honest with you.
I had one. Got a really expensive one for a gift, and then I had somebody come over and teach me how to use it because it had all these parts, and then I just never used it. It's too much of a pain in the ass. So yeah, I just said, screw it. I don't need the telescope. Who cares? I've seen it before. Maybe I'll see it again, but I don't need to right now.
You could use it in the mountains there behind you.
Yeah, you could.
Would look pretty.
Twin Lakes, man. It's a beautiful place. Beautiful place. When you guys wisen up and we have the party out here, the RPS party, because all the Denver people, I'll take you hiking, Uncle T.
Yeah,
JT, I feel I could probably make it. You?
I'll come to Denver. I'm out on the hiking.
Why? It's beautiful.
I'll golf. I'll party with you. We'll go to some bars. We'll do whatever. I'm not hiking anywhere.
Do you like hunting?
I don't hike to the freaking mailbox and back. I ain't hiking up where you're at.
Do you hunt? Are you a hunter? No. Have you ever gone hunting?
No.
JT?
I've never pulled a gun. I've never pulled or shot anything.
I'm not a big hunter, no.
Have you ever hunted before?
Well,
no, not really.
It depends on what you mean by hunting.
Like outdoor hunting
or hunting for ladies.
He's talking about pussy, JT. If you couldn't tell from his innuendo there, that's exactly what he was.
Well, clearly he didn't, because he didn't even pick up on it.
I mean, I'm trying to do a show about fantasy football, and it's just, it's just a little much.
Okay. Well, guess what? Right. Luckily for you, we're at the 30-minute mark. So that's actually perfect timing. Now, my question for you two fine gentlemen would be:
Chat's pretty quiet tonight. Chat must be bored in the chat. Richie Smalls, Kevin Gallagher. I'll do your job, Holden.
I'm pretty sure. First of all, I already did that. It was probably when your dial-up was messed up.
It probably was, but I can go back and listen again. Swoop.
We had the worst start ever to this show, so that's nobody's watching this.
It was a rough start. It was
probably the worst one we've had, JT. I can't recall a worse one.
It wasn't.
We only got a couple weeks left. They can't cancel us now. We got to get through another year.
Hey, and listen, I'm very confident that we are not going to get in one single fight this year, Uncle T. And it all has to do with the Mustang ride. It just changed the dynamics of our relationship.
I'll be honest. I thought I was pretty nice to you when you visited. I'm not going to lie.
Feel like I was pretty nice to you too.
I mean, that's debatable, but I thought for the most part, I was a good host.
Holden was there for 12 hours. So, I mean, it was hard to find.
There long.
I was there.
He came in to watch the Kansas game in Kentucky, and then he left.
That's what I'm going to do next year too.
Pretty much.
I'm not going to be there for more than that.
Why do you want to be around people? I mean, Holden's not
like all the dirt and the stories. You got to listen to people telling, like, who gives a shit about your stories? I don't care. I've heard them a million times, right? That's the first thing. Second of all, it's just
the only good part about when you came in was when we went to that place to eat that night, and I drove you. I didn't have to sit next to you, thank God. Like you were at the opposite end of the table, thank God. I think you and Snyder, thank God, sat next to each other. I was at the other end with the cool people.
Snyder was across from me.
Right.
Had my buddy JJ to my left.
Yep.
Tony was to my right.
I stuck all them people down there with you because I didn't want to sit next to them.
I don't blame you, man. But I don't like going because there's a couple of people we work with bad breath.
Uh-oh.
They got to clean that shit up.
I need to tell my nephew something tomorrow at lunch?
They got to clean that shit up this year. Not going to say who it was. The people who have the bad breath, but you need to clean it up in the 2024 RPS party.
All right.
That must have been important. You took the second hand off of the mic that time to tell us what you wanted to say.
I needed to let everybody know that these two individuals,
big issue,
two people,
big issue, apparently.
Two people, they need breath freshener for 20.
Were they at that end of the table with you?
I'm not giving any hints. I'm going to make everybody think that they are the ones with the bad breath.
I mean, I can help that. I mean, I can push that along and make that happen.
Make what happen? Bad breath?
I mean, we can we'll come up with some RPS deodorant or something.
RPS mints.
I mean, I don't hate it. Right. Richie says leave Kurt alone. Kurt definitely probably is in the top part of the percentage of it being one of them two being him, but
yeah. All right, we're 33 minutes in. Let's talk football. We don't have to do the Saturday slate. It's a little baby 2 gamer. So
hey,
Monday,
my Bengals are playing. Oh, see, there you go, shitting on my team again.
What?
My Bengals play. Can we at least talk about the game? It has playoff implications.
All right, let's do the 2 games on Saturday. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh and Buffalo at the Chargers. Okay.
I'm gonna visit the restroom while Uncle T talks about the Bengals.
Yeah, take your time, JT. We got it.
Leave the door open. So, Uncle T, Cincy, Pittsburgh. Let's talk about your Bengals because I'll just tell you about Pittsburgh as a team in disarray. But you are in the land of the Bengal. How big is this rivalry?
Well, first off, I'll talk to you more from a betting standpoint than DFS. Clearly, we've got a 9-game slate on Sunday we'll talk about. But for some reason, the Bengals have struggled against Pittsburgh the last couple of years. Even when the Bengals have been good, when they haven't been, we just struggle with them. Earlier in the year was the first game after Burrow got hurt. We sucked. They beat us on a defensive touchdown. They didn't get anything done. I think they won like 16-9 or something. I can't remember. 16-6. We're favored by 2 points. Like you said, Pittsburgh's in disarray, and the Bengals have won 3 in a row. It's going to be hard-pressed not to take the Bengals just because I'm a fan, but I'm not comfortable with it, Holden. I'm not going to be not going to lie to you. I'm not comfortable with this at all just because of how Pittsburgh's played since that. But the Bengals are, 8-7? If they go, 2-1, they can get to 10-8. I think 10-8 will get them in. The team that's surging is clearly the team that's playing in the back half of that game. The doubleheader on Saturday is Buffalo. And I'm not breaking news there, but Buffalo is the team that if they happen to get in, I don't think they're in right now, right? I don't think they are. If they get in, they're definitely a team that can get it done in the AFC. There's nothing in the AFC. Baltimore, everybody keeps, stroking Baltimore. I still say Baltimore, Lamar Jackson may win a game in the playoffs, but sorry, Snyder, he's not going to win a Super Bowl.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think the Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl this year.
What do you think about the Bengals game?
I think that Mason Rudolph is starting for the Steelers.
Oh.
And I think that that team is an absolute disaster. And I want to save the George Pickens story for when JT comes back. Actually, did you see what he said today?
I didn't see what he said today. I did hear what Tomlin said about the play where he didn't finish the block on the goal line or something.
Oh, it was brutal because Jaylen Warren, and I had a lot of Warren last week. All he had to do was a little tiny block at the goal line, and Jaylen Warren gets in, and he literally stood there and watched.
I had over 50% Warren. I was with you.
And then on top of that, he comes out and he says today, he goes, yeah, I didn't want to block because I saw the Tank Dell injury. Now, Tank Dell was blocking at the goal line as well on a play, but that was a quarterback sneak. Pickens has got a problem, man. This dude is as physically gifted as any of them, maybe more so than anybody, but he's a head case, another crazy wide receiver.
Yeah, I think he might not be long for that team. Maybe he may end up. Oh, Jesus.
Well, Chase Claypool left. Oh, fuck. We're done. I will say this. Let me see the dog.
I apologize, chat.
Oh,
he's got a freaking Santa hat on him.
Poor Muffins.
It's a her.
Poor.
Hello, everybody, Quinn. Say look. You see
Quinn. So JT, were we talking about this last week, or did I talk to somebody else? The official dog of RPS. Schlong wants Mateo. Tony's getting a dog, and JSU has.
I need to go get mine.
What'd you say?
Do I need to go get mine? She's been out cold for like 2 hours.
I'm not getting mine. The thing's 17 years old and he's sleeping. Let him enjoy himself.
Hey, your cat's still kicking, or did one of them die?
She's doing great, man.
Cat's still kicking.
She's still kicking strong. She might outlive the old guys pod.
You see those?
Quinn, very well behaved.
Yeah. How many times did you have to hump her to make her submit to you, JT?
I don't know why she's actually behaving like this, but whatever.
You do know that's how you train a dog, right?
What's that?
How many times did you hump Quinny?
No.
Before she submitted.
See, look at how happy she is. She couldn't be happy.
Yeah, Mangone is my cat, Richie Smalls.
Oh, God.
It's actually Mango, but my daughter said
I want everybody to know JT's the one that hijacked this show tonight.
He did. He really did. He was late.
I wasn't late.
He was late. Right, Uncle T? Was he late?
I'm with Holden. He was late by about 8 minutes.
Yep. And what does the dog do? It just sits in your lap?
This is the most well-behaved this dog has ever been.
She hears Uncle Holden. She hears Uncle Holden's voice.
I mean, she must. I mean, I don't know.
Winnie.
Right now.
Winnie, right? Quinny.
No, Winnie is the animal.
Winnie.
Yeah, give her a drink of that Coors Light. See how she handles it.
Yeah, let's do that. No, that's probably going to get him in trouble if he does. Hey, Quinny.
Someone in here will call Twitter who will be like, "Oh my God, we don't need that."
Hey, Quinny.
Look at how happy.
Quinny.
How happy she is.
So, before you rudely interrupted the show, JT.
Yeah. Sorry.
Uncle T and I were talking about George Pickens not planting a block at the goal line and screwing our DFS teams over, and then using the excuse that Tank Dell had broken his leg, albeit on a completely different type of play.
The goal line play.
A tush push, you would say?
Somewhat, yeah.
So George Pickens is the next guy, I think, the next crazy wide receiver. He is a physical freak, and his head's not right. But now you've got the Steelers with Chase Claypool and George Pickens. What's going on over there? It all started with Plexico Burress and then Antonio Brown.
Jesus, Plexico Burress mentioned. Wow.
Plexico, Georgia product, George Pickens. Tough scene there with what's going on in Pittsburgh. You have to wonder. I think Mike Tomlin's a really good coach, but between the selection of Matt Canada, the play calling, the way the team has been going this season, I mean, they're sort of devoid on talent, obviously, at the quarterback position, which is a tough thing to be in the NFL. But is there something to the fact that maybe Tomlin needs a change of scenery?
Well, the Steelers aren't going to fire him. They don't fire coaches.
No. But he could. If he resigned, Holden, how many teams, even those with head coaches, would line up for the opportunity to hire him?
I'm trying to think him or Belichick, and I think
three teams.
What?
That would want him.
Who?
I think he's overrated.
Okay.
They have a good team every single year.
What's that?
Every year they have a good team, like a mediocre to great team, right in between. I mean, what's wrong with Mike Tomlin? He's got Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Mitchell.
They got a draft better. What do you mean? He
has
more influence over the draft than any coach out there, not named probably Belichick and who else? Who's another top?
He's not the GM.
No, but you don't think okay, so he has no control over who they draft?
I don't know, man.
Oh, come on. Well, you're just sitting there choking him about how good a coach he is, and he gets to the playoffs every year. You don't think he has any say in who they draft?
I don't know.
Come on.
What do you mean, come on? I'm trying to think. If I want to coach for the next 10 years, I'm taking Mike Tomlin. If I want to coach for the next 3 years, it's Belichick. The reason why I say 10 is Bill Belichick will be like 81 years old in 10 years.
It goes along with the old guys podcast. They want both of those old grease balls. I don't like either one of them.
Yeah. So anyways, we were talking about that game briefly, the Saturday slate, since you wanted to talk about it, JT.
Yeah, we can move on.
I didn't want to talk about it. I said, let Uncle T talk about the Bengals.
Oh.
Well, he was in the bathroom for 3.5 minutes just taking a leak.
He was going to take care of Quinny. Hey, can you put Quinny's face up a little closer to the screen? I'd like to let me enlarge.
Yeah, I can do that.
Let's see her. Put her closer to the screen. Hello, Quinny.
Say hello to the people.
How are you doing, Quinny?
She looks mean.
Yeah.
She's not mean. What are you talking
What's
about?
going on with
Look at her. She's looking at the quarterback selection. Look, she's looking up and down. Which
mean.
quarterback do I like?
She just looks uncomfortable.
She is uncomfortable. She's not used to this. She's like, what is going on here?
Do you just want to put her down and
do you want to get down?
Let her enjoy herself?
Do you want to go play
Holden
with
can't wait to get going here.
Do you want to go play with poop? Hold on. Ready? Watch. We'll do this.
Okay.
Here.
Watch Uncle T. He's getting his dog to dominate poo. Here we go.
Yeah, nothing.
He's doing nothing. And that's the fascinating part about it is all he ever does every week is
Holden. I think it was a bit the whole time. I don't think
all he does is every week he brags, my female dog humped the Winnie the Pooh, and then finally he has a chance to put up and prove it to us, and there's nothing.
Couldn't close the deal.
Nope. Well, now we only got time to do 3 players at every position.
Now she's in her bed, so she's comfortable. There you go.
Thanks for the update.
All right, go on.
JT, let's go to you first, since Uncle T's been talking a lot the last few minutes. We're going to talk about this.
I am over my word count for the show, for the record. So go ahead.
Do you think so? Why would you say such a thing?
Well, I like talking.
JT, we'll get back to quarterback here. We've got Prescott at 7.9, Tua at 7.8 up top with Justin Fields at 7,100. We go down a little bit. I don't know about anything I like down low that I'm looking at. Maybe nobody. Sorry, you're up. Who are we playing?
It's a tough week because you have Tua. That Dallas-Miami game, obviously the total is pretty high. Dak at 7,900 is still a tough click. Tua at 78. What's the Tyreek Hill? Tyreek Hill probably back, right? We think he's back, or
probably.
He's
9,600.
But him being back doesn't necessarily mean that you have to play Tyreek. It just means it opens things up for that offense, right? 7,800 is still a little bit tough for him. This Detroit-Minnesota game is interesting. I don't know if I want to go back to Goff. I guess the guy that I'm really interested in is Fields at 7,100 against Arizona. Kyler is 6,400 against Chicago. That game is in Chicago though, so have to keep an eye out on the weather there. It's going to be a tougher week. Geno Smith was an emergency availability last night. 5,800 against the Titans seems like a really, really good price for him. Of course, they're going across the country. And then what about Joe Flacco? I mean, all Joe Flacco, I understand he threw 3 interceptions, but I mean, he's looked pretty good. The Houston defense has not looked pretty good. They got a ton of injuries. 5,500 for Flacco. So it's a tougher week. I'm not going to be playing Sam Howell. Not going to be playing whoever the Jets put out there. It's really tough to trust anybody on the Falcons right now. Just a disastrous performance for the Falcons, losing to the 1-win Panthers. So quarterback's going to be a challenge this week. I think where I'm starting is Fields.
Uncle T, would you like to chime in?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to interrupt and tell him he didn't follow your rules of limiting it to 3. You mentioned like 8 guys.
I only heard him talk about 1.
Well, he named about 8 of them. So
but he talked about
if
Justin
I would have done
Fields,
that, I would have got yelled at.
I was giving analysis.
I've never yelled at
analysis. I won't give analysis. No more analysis from JT, people.
Well, I mean, I like JT's analysis though.
What do you think about quarterback, Uncle T?
Quarterback, yeah, Prescott and Tua. I agree with JT. Probably won't go to either one, even though that is a pretty decent total there. Justin Fields is the guy I got at the top of my list. He struggled a little bit on the road last week in Cleveland, but I think it's a nice bounce back spot for Fields. Like pairing him with DJ Moore, we'll talk about later. One guy you didn't mention, and he was awful on Monday night or Sunday night, whenever that was, Trevor Lawrence. He was definitely not good. A couple fumbles, didn't look real good at all. Give credit to Baltimore's defense, but he does get one of the nuts matchups. I'm sure it'll be on the flow chart this week as long as Lawrence is 100%. Now, Jacksonville's underwhelmed and actually been pretty poor, the last several weeks. But, I do like him here, 6,600 in the matchup in Tampa Bay. So I do like him a little bit. Baker Mayfield, I don't know if you mentioned him, JT, in your list of 8, but I probably won't chase him again. I know he had a monster game last week, but he's in the other side of that game where Jacksonville has struggled as well. So I don't know. He's coming off a ceiling game. JT, you and I usually like to fade the next week, but he is in a good matchup. You mentioned Flacco. Don't mind him. And I'll mention one other guy down below, Nick Mullins. I don't mind maybe in that game on the other side of the Detroit game. Looked pretty decent last week against my Bengals. I think he threw for 302. So, for 5,300, pretty good game flow in that game. I don't mind a little Nick Mullins on the cheap.
Flacco is thrown 44, 45, and 44 pass attempts in these 3 starts. He's clearing 20 points. He's throwing picks, but I think I mentioned that it was probably on the Pick Winner show on that Friday that the overwhelming amount of work, Joe Flacco goes to work right to Amari Cooper. I mean, everybody wants to get cute with Elijah Moore. Amari Cooper just gets everything from Joe Flacco. So, and the Houston secondary can be had. I like the Flacco call. Running back. Uncle Tim, I'll let you go first here, buddy. Rachaad White is 7,400. He's the top priced running back, and for good reason. He's just touching the ball in insane. He's a legit bell cow. You've also got the 2 Miami running backs. You've got Gibbs at 7,000. Looking down, maybe in the cheaper tier, if Trey Sermon does get the start, although that might be a split backfield for the Colts, but I can't do that because it will be a split backfield. So I talked about the top guys. You like either of them or any of them, and what would be your top 3?
Yeah, no CMC up top this week in the slate, with San Fran being off of it. Rachaad White, you can make the argument outside of the top running backs. You can make an argument Rachaad White's been clearly one of the most consistent fantasy backs for sure. Like you mentioned, Holden, he's legit. I mean, beginning of the year, he was in the low 5Ks. I mean, he's up to 7,400 and it's probably still a decent price tag. He's getting a lot of usage, so I don't mind him, but I think Raheem Mostert, we got to figure out between now and Sunday how we're going to handle this Miami-Dallas game, JT, right? Because we talked about the quarterbacks already, and we know there's probably going to be points in this game. We got to figure out how we're going to get them, right? Are we going to try to, get them through the air? Or are we going to try to maybe go to the running game? Mostert's been pretty good. We try to make Achane work, and he just isn't getting the carries. I mean, last week, 2 more touchdowns now. Raheem Mostert, 20 touchdowns on the year. Now, you say there's only a couple weeks left. Can it continue? But he seems to get in the box once or twice a week, and he usually pays off the salary. So I don't mind him. I'll list a couple more. Bijan Robinson, 6,300. I haven't played a whole lot of him recently, but Indy's run defense, not real good at all last time I checked. So don't mind a little Bijan Robinson. And then on the cheap, I'll give you one cheapie down here, or at least in the cheaper range. Chuba Hubbard, 5,700. Again, it's a grease ball game. Carolina is terrible, but Green Bay struggles a little bit against the run. And the last 3 weeks carries, just because Carolina is trying to kill the clock and trying to stay in some of these games, 22 carries, 23 carries, 25 carries for Chuba Hubbard. So, for that reason only and the good matchup, I think I don't mind him on the cheap.
JT, you got Chuba Hubbard shares on this Tuesday?
Maybe, but I'm going to start with a guy that Richie Smalls mentioned here, Breece Hall, 6,100. You're going to get likely a backup here, quarterback for the Jets against the Commanders. Commanders are dead in the water here. I like him. Aaron Jones at 6,400 against the Carolina defense. I trust the Packers more than I trust the Falcons to do what works against the Panthers, which is run the ball. The volume was there for Aaron Jones in that game against Tampa Bay until it started to get away, which was early. So I like Jones at 6,400, Breece at 6,100, and then another guy, one more that Uncle T didn't mention, Jerome Ford at 5,400. The volume has been there. Tougher matchup last week against Chicago. Now they get indoors against Houston. He did get 4 or 5 targets out of the backfield last week. I like Jerome Ford here at 5,400.
I'm looking at wide receiver. We got CeeDee Lamb. Continues to clean up. I mean, he might, but besides for Tyreek, he's got to be the number 2 this year, right? And we'll see if he has another blow-up spot in that Miami game. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who has not been putting up the same type of production consistently as he was earlier in the year, but now he's coming off a huge game, 112 and a touchdown on 7 catches. So up top's pretty interesting right off the bat. JT, I'm going to come to you at wide receiver. What do you think about the top 2, 3, 4 guys? And then is there anybody as you scroll down, especially on DraftKings, that you're looking at?
Definitely you can pay up this week because of what I just talked about with the value at running back. I would say Jalen Waddle for sure. This is something that I missed on. I thought about it. I mentioned it on the Off the Chalk show. If Tyreek missed, that I would be interested in Waddle, and I didn't do it. Waddle smashed. If he misses again, I would go right back to Jalen Waddle at 7,800. Even if he's in and it looks like he's going to be limited, I think that's a nice price for him. But going down, DJ Moore, 6,900 against this Arizona defense. I like him a lot. Mike Evans in a nice bounce back spot here at 7,600. You mentioned Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's fine. One of the Seattle guys. I mean, Tyler Lockett at 5,600 seems to me to be a really good play here, especially if Geno is back. And I'll give you one more, and I'll save some for Uncle T. And yeah, Garrett Wilson at 5,800. I would take a shot on him no matter who is the quarterback against the Commanders.
Uncle T, wide receiver, my man.
Yeah, JT did a good job of mentioning a couple of them that I liked as well. So that's a good thing. I always like being on the same page, even on Tuesday with my guy JT. But, Tyreek 96, Lamb 92. And again, I don't want to keep saying it, but I got to kind of figure out how I want to handle this game. Because right now, I don't think either one of these guys. I'd rather probably start with St. Brown and Jefferson at that 82 and 8,100 price range and start there. And maybe it leads me to a more balanced build this week. Usually I've played a lot of stars and scrubs this year just based off of how the week progresses. You get value, but I'm thinking maybe it looks like it could be a balanced week. I like the Evans and DJ Moore call. One guy you didn't mention in that Seattle game as well, but DeAndre Hopkins, I don't think you mentioned him. DeAndre Hopkins, 6,100. Or no, that's not in the – yeah, DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong side. Seattle struggles a little bit through the air on the other side. So 6,100, don't mind him. I love the Garrett Wilson call. I just think he's way too cheap in this matchup against the just awful Washington Commanders. So he might be one of my favorite plays of the week. And you mentioned Lockett. One other guy in that same game, though, JT, 4,500 JSN, Smith and Jigba, he's still pretty cheap, right? I mean, I know he's not usually doesn't have really the ceiling of getting you 18 to 20, but for 4,500, if he gets you 10, 12, 14 points, I don't mind that. So those are a few guys. And then Addison at 6K. I don't know if I want to chase Addison again after the 32-point ceiling game last week. I'd probably rather just go to Jefferson.
Jaden Reed is the other guy I want to bring up. He's turned into the number one for Jordan Love. So I think Reed is in the 4,500. No, he's got to be more than 4,500.
No, he's got to be. He was 49 last week. So
he's got to be like hold on one sec. It's 54.
You say Reed or Weed?
54.
54.
Richie Smalls. Richie Smalls is a weekly viewer and watches on Sundays. Thank you, Richie.
Love Richie.
What?
Love Richie.
Yeah, thank you for hanging out with us. So he's asking, nobody's on Baker for quarterback. Let me read out Baker Mayfield. Okay, Uncle T mentioned him. Let me read out Baker Mayfield's stats on Sunday against Green Bay. 22 of 28 for a 79% completion percentage. That is, I don't know, let's say plus minus 20% higher than any other game this year. 381 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 sacks, a rating of 171.9. Listen, that was a great game by Baker Mayfield. He's not doing that again this Sunday. Don't play Baker Mayfield. You want to play Rachaad White? You want to play Mike Evans? Fine. But even more importantly, you want to play the Jacksonville defense? I wouldn't argue with you. Don't play Baker Mayfield this Sunday. That was a complete and total outlier ceiling. Not going to happen again next week.
Super hot take. Love it.
That was a strong take. 58 minutes into the show by JT Hayes Jr.
Do you disagree?
Hayes, he brought it.
Do you disagree? Like I'm
on board with you.
Another one.
Like I said, I'll tell you this much. Richie, I feel you because I spent hours looking at last week's slate. I didn't consider Baker Mayfield. It was a total miss from me. But what I'm not going to do is play him when he gets 11 points, which is what's going to happen this week. Go on. Holden has found some sound effects that make him excited.
Another one.
Real quick, let me listen to a couple. I haven't heard these.
Can we get
That's
like
awful.
a 2-minute warning horn?
Basketball is my favorite sport. I love the way they dribble up and down the court. Centers, forwards, and all the
We mute him, JT, so we can finish the show.
That real quick, just on 1980s rap. That's really was not tough to be a rapper back then because all you had to do is basically be like, oof. You're trying to hit oof now. It's not working. But like 80s rappers, I went outside and it was
another one.
That's my era, Holden. Don't make fun of the 80s. He's on fire. You're all there too.
You fucking.
Oh god. Chat, you guys got to give me a lot of credit for dealing with me too.
I'm gonna throw some more music in there. You'll have it for next week. Okay. Anyways,
All right, go on. What position?
Just be tight end. Just I don't give a
talk about what?
Porter costs as much
yeah?
as Amari Cooper. He's 6,400. He's a badass.
Are we live yet?
We're fucking live, baby.
Oh God. I can see Wiley calling me in the morning. I'm going to screen that call from Prez Wiley, I think.
He's heating up.
God.
You gotta do it. If you're going to do that, Holden, have the fire over my head.
Where's the fire?
He's on fire.
Someone in the coordinator chat said he needed something. So they're like,
there you go. I need the flame.
They're like, hey, JT, send him a DM. So I sent him a DM like 3 months ago. I don't think he's even read it. I never got a response. Very hurtful. Yeah.
I mean, the bad part about that is he hasn't responded. The good part is you still got your job.
Whatever.
He's on fire.
It's on fire.
All right. We got to finish.
No, I just said tight end. Can we give one tight end?
Yeah. I'm going to go
for it.
Let Uncle T go first because he gets
Uncle
mad.
T, give us
he gets
one.
Mad when I mention that's mad.
He's be like, I'll give you one, and then here's the other 8.
How about one high priced and one low price? How's that?
Sold. That's a deal.
Do whatever you want.
All right.
Do whatever
I
you
won't
want.
go all the way up top. I'm going to go with Evan Ingram, 5,400 in that nice matchup against Tampa Bay. I'm going to target that matchup in that game, I think, as of right now. And my low guy, I'm going to go with Okonkwo, 3,100 against Seattle.
That was not me. Horrible timing, JT.
How you do the heart? Can I get it to?
I can't do that. I can't get it to do any of this shit.
Yeah. Okonkwo is a terrible play.
Wow. That hurts.
I think you do this.
That hurts.
No, I kid.
Do you need to just real quick?
You mentioned Aaron Jones earlier, and I just let you do it because I have respect for it.
I didn't do it.
And then you give me a hard time about Okonkwo.
Tell me why Aaron Jones isn't a good
No,
play.
we don't have enough time. We'll talk about it next week. Now Holden's playing the Masters, number 16.
Look, Trey McBride is just unstoppable. Double-digit targets almost every week, so I'll play him again gladly. And then I'll go back here to TJ Hawkinson against Detroit. Maybe. But I think it's probably going to be either McBride, maybe Jake Ferguson, who keeps getting just 8 targets a game here in a good match.
Tight ends he's mentioned.
Well, how many did you mention?
I mentioned one high price and one low price. You don't listen to the rules.
Mention a third one so we can make it equal. Mention a third one.
I'm good. You made fun of Okonkwo. That's worth 2 now. JT.
Old guys trying to get hearts on their screen.
That guy.
All right, we're done. I mean, that
We
was
need more of the background music, by the way. I need more.
Texan Holden.
I can't tell you what kind of show it was because it was just something, right? It was a show.
We were live.